$1,000,000 Agent Show. I'm your host, Violet Rainwater, and I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Rob Jacobman, and one of our rock stars, part of our ICA Agency Alliance family, Jami Siegfried. Welcome, team.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey guys, we wanted to jump in a little early this time. We want to just thank you all for bearing with us with our technology challenges. We wanted to get here early so you could see that we're really here this time. So we apologize. We are learning and growing just as we encourage our agents to learn and grow and innovate themselves and all of their systems. We have an amazing show for you today, and I wanted to just take a couple minutes and start off with a story because the captive world versus the independent world is something that is really personal to me. I began my career in the captive space, and that's where I fell in love with the insurance business. I had been a financial advisor, never sold insurance, but when I came over to the captive world, I realized that I was a true insurance girl at heart. The trouble for me was what I saw happening to the agents that I supported. Time and time again, I was a financial professional. So my job was to help them get to their life insurance goals. And I would often do life insurance for my agents. And I always saw health problems with my agents in their early 50s and their late 40s. And it was because of the stress that they had trying to jump through so many hoops as things changed in the captive space. And if you're in the captive space, you know what I'm talking about. And that was heartbreaking for me. And so that's why I'm so passionate about the independent channel. And I'm so excited to introduce you guys to Jami. She's going to start today by just sharing with us a little bit about herself and her experience coming from the captive world and joining our ICA Agency Alliance family.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. I started as a captive agent just after having a brand new baby. My baby was 6 months old, and it was a lot of pressure. I started as what they call a scratch agent. For people in insurance, you either buy an insurance agency or you start one from scratch, which is what I did. So I did that for about 6 years. And Violet, you're exactly right. I mean, the rules were always changing. The game was always changing. Unfortunately, commissions were changing. And I really didn't feel like I was in control of my business the way I was led to believe I would be from the beginning.
Yeah. And we see that and we hear that all the time, Jami. And I wanted to start off today by, we have a few amazing points that we want to bring up. And so I just wanted to start today by having you share with us just some of the biggest differentiators between being part of the captive space and coming over to the independent channel. So can you share with us, like, the first thing that comes to your mind? What is the greatest blessing of being an independent?
Well, by far, it's access to a lot of really amazing insurance companies that give us the flexibility to compete for great policies, great pricing, and allow us to really shine and do right by the client. I was at about year 4 as a captive agent, and every year, my mom would get her rate increases, her renewals. And it got to a point at, 4 or 5 years where she's like, Jami, I can't afford to continue to do business with you. Yeah. And at some point you have to let your mom go, and that's really, really unfortunate if you have to sit there and look and go, my mom doesn't even want to be with me anymore because she simply can't afford to do it. And I didn't have any other alternative for her. I had nowhere else that I could really put her. So for us, the biggest blessing, and I think really realizing that when people want to do business with you, they want to do business with you, and having the flexibility then to be competitive in the insurance space a lot more than I was previously.
Yeah. One of the things that we hear often from captive agents is that it's really hard to do what is in the best interest for the prospect or the customer, because it's almost like you have to lie to them, right? Like to try to keep them. Yeah, I know we're going up 60%, but when
I'm the best. Yeah. I have the best product
We've
and
heard
I'm
that
the best
before.
person. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's a difficult challenge for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamie, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You know, in this day and age and this environment, especially in the captive side, it is so hard to build, grow, and scale truly a successful agency. And I know that one of the things I know about you is you're a rock star. I love your attitude. I love you just have this energy and enthusiasm about you. You have the heart of a teacher. You have the heart of a servant, a true trusted advisor. And that's really the ingredients. You have all the ingredients of
Yeah.
success in this industry. Well, my question for you is, what was your biggest pain point? What is your biggest challenge or problem that you faced on that captive side? And then how was that problem solved when you came over to the independent side? And what did that do for your life in terms of like how different everything was? So maybe talk a little bit about that journey and how that transition kind of made you feel like, wow, this is actually this is the way to truly build a multi-million-dollar agency, is with empowering me to be able to do this and have full control over my life and my business.
Yeah, I think it's quite a journey. I think you go from learning not only the insurance business, but you learn how to manage people, right? Now, all of a sudden, not only are you in a brand new career doing insurance, but you need to hire, you need to fire, you need to have systems in place, you need to market, you need to kind of wear the hat of many things that maybe you don't have a lot of experience doing. At least I didn't. I came from the military, right? So I didn't have to really ever think for myself, but I'm a really good analyst. So once you start doing all of those things and you start realizing people want to do business with Jami because of what you said, because I take care of people, because I'm passionate about insurance, because I like analyzing the numbers. And at the end of the day, I always want to be the hero and not the zero, right? So I make sure I take care of people when you need me, you know. I don't want to get yelled at, and I certainly want to make sure that you are taken care of when it comes to filing a claim and that process, right? So as a captive agent, though, I was nervous. Like, okay, so 6 years in, I've realized people want to do business with Jami. They don't always do business with Jami because I am not competitive sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have an issue about being competitive. But then I looked at myself and I said, how am I going to compete marketing wise, right? Like, how are people going to find me? Does my name stand on its own? Well, kind of after 6 years in Parker, it sort of did, right?
Mm-hmm.
People wanted to do business with Jami. And now that I had options, I could do that. So then the next piece was figuring out, how am I going to market myself without having a large captive insurance company name behind me?
Yep. That's really interesting because people want to do business with Jami. They know, like, and trust you.
Right.
It's not necessarily that bigger brand. Jami, you are the brand. You
Yeah.
are the brand and the name and the face of your agency. So what does that look like now? Now that you've transitioned and you have a whole different perspective on things, what does it look like now, especially with your relationship with ICA? How has that impacted your agency in a positive way and help you move more towards your goals and your dreams and your vision for your future?
So that's just such a great question. I mean, I think the term independent agent is kind of scary, actually, right? Like, wait a second, I'm on an island all by myself. Okay, I think I know enough to do that. Well, joining ICA means that you're an independent agent, but you're not alone. And I think I didn't understand that on the captive side. I appreciated having, a territory manager and people that I could bounce ideas off of and whatever. Coming to ICA, it's been really a support system. We have a network of people that have just as much insurance experience as I do, if not more, right? And collectively, they have way more insurance experience than I do, right? We have a marketing department, right? Which introduces us to people like you and the programs that you guys are introducing us to. But it's everything from ordering postcards and pamphlets to SEO optimization to getting your website up and going, management systems. So, like I said, I'm independent, but I'm not alone. And there's great comfort in that.
That's huge.
And definitely, I work smarter, not harder. And ICA doesn't tell me how to grow my agency. They don't tell me I have to hit a certain number of policies. I don't have to chase anything I don't want to chase, you know.
Yep.
I really get to do things how I want to do things. And what that looks like now is more money, support in all of the right places, right? If I have
Yep.
a question, do I have a human resources issue? Do I have a marketing need? Can you introduce me to something I don't know about, like you guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And more
Right.
time with my family, right? My daughter's 11 now, which is crazy. And
Yeah.
she needs me too.
I think the appropriate word is freedom. It
Yes.
gives you freedom and options. And that's what I think all of us are striving for, is freedom. That's why we get in this business in the first place. That's what I did. Right. So
You can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a
No.
price tag on freedom. But speaking of price tags, speaking of money, Jami, share with us the earning potential. That's what I want to know about. When I share your success story, people are always asking me, well, how big was her book at Farmers, or wherever you were at? I actually don't know where you were at. And how big is how long did it take her to get back to that level? And what does her earning potential look like now? So can you share with us, you know, from just growing your book and from the earning potential where you were a captive to where you are today and what that looks like?
So let's see here.
Loaded
Numbers
question.
are interesting. Okay, so when I decided to leave my captive company, I told my husband, I think it'll take me 3 years to rebuild what took me 6 years to build at the prior agency, right? It took me 1.5 years to rebuild.
Wow.
What?
Did you guys hear that? Can you say that one more time?
I didn't even know that. That's incredible.
And that was honoring my, you know, like non-compete. So that was completely brand new business. That's not like, oh, I just took what I had already made and then brought it over here and that's what I'm counting. No, brand new, starting over. I thought it would take 3 years, like I said, and it took 1.5 years to rebuild what took me 6. So as you can imagine, now almost 4 years in, or did I just pass 4? I lose track of time. I'm a multi-million-dollar agent, you know, and I only see it going up from here. Why? Because I can retain who I get for the most part within reason, right? Why? Because if an insurance company does something wonky, I have other options.
That's right.
And we're in the business of people. You know, I always say, even though we're a really big agency, our clients think that they are our only one.
Yeah.
That's the key. And your commissions are better, right?
Yeah.
Like you make more money.
Yeah.
You're not giving as much away.
Yes.
So that's
Is
important.
always a
What matters most is the commissions that show up in your bank account. That's what's most important right there.
Well, and it's the money and it's the support that we get from the carriers too. I mean, I remember going to my captive, you know, territory manager, and he's like, you know, why did you only sell this? Or what's the problem here? And I'm like, we're just not competitive. And they were like, sell on value, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'm worth a few $100 a year, I think, you know, that I can get people to pay more, but not thousands, you know, year after year. So I kind of lost my train of thought.
No, you're right about that. Like, what we sometimes get in those situations where, you know, value does trump price in many cases. However, when there's such a huge gap that you can't really make up for that. You can't go to a client and say, well, you know, I'm worth this much. But you know, and by the way, our buyers are so savvy right now. They can go online and they can see how competitive you are. So they're
not.
Right. They're willing to work with you to a certain degree, but then, like, you know, then it becomes like, you know, a cost benefit for them. And really people's livelihoods, you know, in this day and age right now, every penny counts, and it does make a difference.
Absolutely.
It makes a difference in the commercial side too. Like if you're courting a commercial account, that makes a difference for them because then that impacts their bottom line. So if you're able to be competitive because you have so many other markets that you can offer and be competitive and pivot when you have to, you know, that those options are now available to you.
Well, and I always tell people, you know, you'll have a client come and they'll say, oh, well, my next door neighbor's insurance is XYZ. And I'll say, well, you guys are not the same person. Your house isn't the exact same. Your credit's not the same. Your insurance history is not the same, all of those things. And insurance companies, they each individually have their own kind of ideal client, right?
That's right.
So that's been a real journey, and it's been so much fun figuring out, oh, this client is perfect for this insurance company. This is right in their wheelhouse, as opposed to on the captive side where you're like, your credit score is not high enough, or you have too many claims, or whatever the case may be. I don't like the age of your roof, right? Now I can look at all of those factors and go, you're a perfect fit for this insurance company. And I was getting to the point when I got derailed earlier. I wanted to say that the insurance companies have been wonderful in checking in with me each individually to make sure that they are meeting my needs. And I wouldn't say that that is necessarily something that the insurance company thought was important where it came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jami, you got a little shout out for Martin Tapiro. I hope I said your name right, Martin. He said, nice to see Jami. Awesome so far. So thank you, Martin. And thank you for watching. Jami, I have a question for you. I talk to captive agents all the time. And as much as they want to make the jump, they're terrified. They're scared. What would you say to those agents? Because you were there. You know, I'm sure before you made the jump, you thought about it for years, and you probably are wishing you did it before you did it. What would you say to those agents that are terrified to make the jump? Do you have any sage advice to share with them?
I would just say you have to believe in yourself. And I think if you have been doing what you need to do to grow your captive book this far, people are going to follow you. It might take some time. It's going to take some work, right? But you can do it. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I don't know any secrets that anybody else knows. You know what I mean? I just knew that I could do a better service for my clients than where I was at. Yeah. I knew I could make more money. I knew I could have flexibility of time. And I knew I wouldn't be alone having ICA behind us with all of the tools that they have that you can utilize as much as you want to or not at all. So I say you just got to go for it, you know, and
love that. Just do it, like Nike says. Speaking of ICA, Jami, I know that one of our differentiators is a program that you are now a part of. It's our turnkey lead generation program that is connecting you with commercial opportunities. So Rob and Jami, will you just share some of the ways that we're helping agents grow, build, and scale a multi-million-dollar agent? See, it's not just our tagline, it's actually what we're proactively always talking about and implementing for our agents.
I actually think that this ties in perfectly to the question you asked, Violet, which was, you know, that terrifying decision in your mind of making that leap. How do I then rebuild my agency? How do I go out and get new business? How do I go out and build and nurture and create those relationships where I'm basically starting from scratch? One of the greatest assets and tools and resources that we have in ICA, and this is really the visionary of Phil Fox, who designed, he's like, I want you guys to build this. And we're like, okay, let's do it. So we were on this journey and it is still new and exciting because we're now giving you a blueprint and a roadmap and a system to drive leads, prospects, and opportunities virtually on demand. And I know, Jami, I'm actually looking at your pipeline, your spreadsheet that basically
show us.
Our tracking system. I'm looking at it right now, and we've connected you with some really high value targets. And this is one of the, if we take anything away from today, as far as lead generation and building a successful agency, is this. My recommendation is, and by the way, I practice what I preach. I've been there. I've been a commercial insurance producer for over 15 years. So I know that one of the things that helped me become more successful is really starting to focus on target markets and getting really, really good at those markets, rather than being a jack of all trades and like saying, oh, well, I don't turn any business away, and then trying to be everything to everybody, which is really, if you're in the captive space, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to be one thing to everybody. I believe that the greatest path to success is really focused on 2 or 3 really, really targeted markets that you love or enjoy, or you think there's a greatest opportunity? For example, mine was construction contractors, artisan contractors, some manufacturing, and a little bit of technology. That was my mix, and that's what I love most. And I had the markets for it. So you want to make sure you have the markets to do that, of course, and be the most competitive and set up these programs for those industries. So I guess we could dive in and show.
Yeah, let's show
Let's do it.
everybody what we're
I could
doing for
show
Jamie.
this, and Jamie, if you want to share a few words about this and
Yeah.
why this is important for you, and why it would be important for agents who are making that jump, is we want to get you instant success and get some leads flowing and solve that number one problem, which is how do you get access to, and how do you grab the attention of all these potential insureds?
Yeah, so my old school way of doing things was to get out and about and shake hands and drop business cards. And I think we've obviously seen that times have changed, since 2020, where maybe you don't want to go out and to, generate leads that way. So what I'm doing with the LinkedIn that you are providing me is going in and just kind of doing the same thing, putting a face with a name, introducing myself, offering my services, letting them know what I can do for them and how I
Wow.
can make their life easier. And it's a great way to, in addition, right, to what you're
Mhm.
already doing, to be able to go out and introduce yourself to people in a safe and productive way.
Yeah. I mean, look at if you
That's
see, I know this
insane.
is hard to see, but like Jamie is being connected with all high level decision makers. And guys, listen, if you are not leveraging the power of LinkedIn, if you are not leveraging the power of one-to-one
Video.
video and connecting with people on a personal level, then you're not going to be as successful as you can be. LinkedIn's where all the action is. And if you're looking at this spreadsheet, we're connecting Jamie with all these partners, owners, presidents, and CEOs, construction, building materials, legal services. By the way, we can also use this to connect with potential centers of influence that, like,
Yes.
attorneys, bankers, accounting, CPAs. If you leverage LinkedIn, you can make these. It's like going to one massive networking event that's open 24/7. So you don't have to get in your car and drive to, hey, I'm going to drive to the BNI meeting today, or hey, I'm going to do this and see, and then end up getting stuck talking to one person. We've all been there. I've been there. Um, and you're like, wait a minute, the whole room is full of amazing prospects. I want to get to everybody, but you can't. But LinkedIn gives you that ability, gives you that power to really connect with people on a personal level. And this is why we have this tool, this resource available to our ISMs in our program.
And Rob, what I love about your program, like those are all people, guys, that Jamie has now been connected with. But that's just like scratching the surface. Rob, what I love about what you bring to our family is you bring a sales system that converts. So you bring the strategy, you bring the templates, you show them exactly how to nurture those opportunities. So it's not like you just give them a bunch of leads and they're out on their own. You're meeting with them, you're coaching them, you're guiding them. Jamie's a superstar. She just kind of ran with it. But guys, we will hold your hand the entire process to make sure that you are growing, building, and scaling your business. I don't know any other group or any other organization that is thinking this outside of the box and providing this much value to their agents. I don't know, Rob, have you heard of anyone doing your program?
No, but I will say, focusing the attention back on Jamie, I will say I was so impressed. Jamie
Yeah.
sent us all, and by the way, her video, one of the steps in our process, as Violet trains and teaches on so well, is sending somebody a personalized one-on-one video to connect with them on a real personal level. So you're reaching out and you're saying, "Hey, my name's Jamie. I'm really excited you connected with me, and I'm grateful you're part of my network now. Oh, by the way, this is what I do. These are the problems I help solve." And Jamie's video was the most impressive one I've seen so far. And in fact, it went viral inside the organization because I'm like, I sent it out. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to see this video. Jamie nailed it. Like, you nailed it right away. And I was so impressed. And I don't know how, I looked at it. I go, I don't know how she did this, but you just have this knack of that. And that's where I say, you're a true high performer. because someone like you can take the initiative to say, all right, how do I figure this out? Because I believe in it and I have the vision. I know this is going to work. I just want to make it work. Like, you just ran with this and
Yeah.
created that video and impressed everybody, by the way.
Well, thank you. I think that's hilarious. But you know, I'm like, I can't stop smiling. Look, here's the thing. If if any captive agents are watching, it's like, take back your life, right? Get back to doing insurance in a way that's not painful, right? Yeah, I did a video. It didn't kill me. I learned something new.
You live.
I had fun doing it, right? There's
Yep.
practice. I mean, it's outside of my comfort zone. It's not something that I've ever done before, is to market myself through video. But I talk to a lot of people about insurance all the time, and I talk to them like I would if I was standing in front of them,
Yep.
And
It's like us right now. We're having a
Yeah.
nice conversation. And you know what? That's what building and nurturing relationships in our industry is all about. It's just having conversations with people
Yeah,
and then seeing how you can help them solve their problems.
right.
That's really it. It's so simple.
And enjoying
Absolutely.
it while you're doing it. I
Yep.
mean, I can't even tell you how many times I was told, buy internet leads, or pick up the phone book. And by the time you buy an internet lead and you're the 15th agent that called them and they're grouchy and
Yeah.
grumpy, I'm like, I am not enjoying this. I am not enjoying my
Yeah.
life. But
Yeah.
to do this is much easier.
Yep. Yep. Well, Jami, we love having you part of our ICA family. In fact, we got big growth plans on the horizon. We are starting to have informational luncheons all throughout Colorado and in our Northern California area. If you guys live in Colorado, if you're a captive agent, if you've ever even considered going out on your own and you just want to start researching, I always say knowledge is power, right? Don't stay focused in your box without researching what else is available to you. If you have ever considered going out and truly building your own book of business as opposed to building a book of business for someone else, please reach out to us so we could invite you to be our personal guest at our next luncheon. Our next luncheon is March 1st here in Westminster, Colorado, at the beautiful ranch, the Ranch Country Club. We always like to roll out the red carpet and go big for our family. So please, if you're curious, come join us. There's nothing wrong with just being able to look at your options, because that knowledge will empower you to make a choice today that your future self will be so grateful for. So, Jami, do you have any last words you want to share? Or Rob, is there anything you want to share before we sign off?
I would just say, it's just a conversation, and like you said, knowledge is power. No one's going to, force anyone to do anything, but the more you know, the more you can make a decision about what you want your future to look like. And I'm excited about the LinkedIn marketing. It's going well. We're getting some traction. We're getting some feedback. We're meeting amazing people. We're learning more about our community and what they do and what's important to them, which is important to me. And it's fun. So if you want to put the fun, back in your life, as fun as insurance is, you know what I mean? I mean, really, truly, we're having a good time.
It is.
I love that.
The only thing I will add, Violet, to this is just show up, and be present, because you're not going to get pitched. You're not going to get some cheesy sales pitch. What you are going to get is you're going to be fed really valuable information that, by the way, could be transformational. It could literally transform your business and your life. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean it like that could be the one thing that you've been looking for that could literally change your family history, your family tree, your legacy and your future. And I really mean that with every fiber in my being. This could make a huge difference in your life. One of our goals, Violet, and I know Jami, you guys feel so passionate about this. We want to help transform the lives of as many producers and as many agents out there as we can, because we really believe in this industry. We love this industry. We think this is like one of the greatest. Where else can you go and talk to so many amazing people and business owners and also help them achieve their goals? And that's what this business is all about. And I'm blessed to be part of this industry. And that has done so much for me personally, but I also now, my giving back to this industry is I want to see other people be successful. I want to see other producers just like crush it as much as they can. And they can.
There's a
And
lot
they
on the
will.
line. Yep.
They will with our ICA Agency Alliance family. As well, we always say, life is too short to build a business that is not even truly yours. So guys, thank you for joining us today. Make sure you mark your calendars for next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Mountain, because Rob and I will be back adding more value to help you grow, build, and scale a multi-million-dollar book of business. Thank you all. Have a prosperous week ahead. Thank you,
Take care,
Jamie.
everybody. Thanks,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Rob.
Take
You're
care.
awesome.